Hello and welcome. This is episode 4 of my free plugins series, and the subject of today's video is the Acon Digital Multiply. This is a chorus effect. I would recommend using headphones for this one because there are some really nice stereo effects to be had with this, and probably best appreciated through a nice set of headphones or a good set of speakers if you got those. With all that said, let's dive straight in and see what we got. So we're going to start at the top. We have the preset menu. So the presets obviously is a great way to kind of just try out different settings and see what the plugin is capable of. Next up, we have undo and redo previous actions. So if you do something, then you can undo it. Next, we have A/B comparison buttons. So you can try two different settings and see which one fits the bill. We then have a menu here where you can go to help. This gives you more details on the plugin itself and the various themes that you can have for the plugin. And over here on the left, we have our two faders. One is the dry level, the original signal, and then the affected signal, which is our chorus effect. These two faders then have associated on-off buttons down here. And in the case of using this as a send effect, we would turn off the original dry signal so that our return channel only has the effect. In the case of using it as an insert effect, which I am using it for today, we could use the on-off button for the effect to turn the effect on and off just to compare with the original signal. And we can, of course, in the case of using it as an insert effect, then actually use the fader to bring down the level of the effect. Going over to the right-hand side of this, we have an EQ. Now, so the EQ affects only the effect. It doesn't affect the original signal. The EQ is for the effect. It's turned on by this button here. And quite simply, we've got a high-pass filter, a low-pass filter, low shelf, high shelf, and they all have adjustable kind of bandwidth. Going down to the bottom left, we have frequency modulation. So it's for modulating the tone, basically. Two controls. First one is rate. It starts at 0.5 of a hertz all the way up to 10 hertz. We then have a depth measured in percentages, starting at 0%, which means it's doing nothing, all the way up to 100%. And the depth is just the amount of the frequency modulation that we want, or the intensity of it, if you like. Next up, we have amplitude modulation. This affects the volume. You can think of it as volume modulation. So it affects the volume of the actual effect. Yet again, two controls. Rate, which is measured in hertz, and depth, which yet again is percentage. Same deal as with frequency modulation. Next, over to the right-hand side, we have the voice count. Basically, what a chorus effect does is it takes the original signal and makes a copy of it and then delays it slightly. The voice just tells you how many times it can copy it. So in this case, it's set to 4. It can go all the way from 1 through to 6. Next to the right-hand side of that, we have stereo spread measured in percentage. 0% equals mono and 100% is full stereo spread. Then over here, we have a pre-delay. Now, generally, we're more accustomed to seeing pre-delays on reverbs and the like. So the pre-delay goes from 0 milliseconds, which means it's doing nothing, up to 500 milliseconds. And all the pre-delay does is it quite simply delays the onset of the effect. The plugin hears the sound and then delays it by whatever amount of milliseconds you actually set it to. So let's start having a listen. Let's first of all, I'm using it, as I said, I'm using it as an insert effect. I'm going to use it on an acoustic guitar. But bear in mind, I'm just using it on an acoustic guitar today. But, try it on everything. It has some nice results on bass guitars, pads, electric guitar. Set it up as a send for backing vocals. It's really, it's a really nice effect, basically. Now, you can, of course, as mentioned already, you can, of course, use the presets and they give you a good idea of the capabilities of the plugin, but I personally like to start from scratch. So I've created my own preset, which is called flat. And this is what it does, as you can see here. Now, if you want to create your own preset, all you have to do is just set all these down here. down at the bottom of here, you've got Save User Preset File, and it even allows you to name it. I'm going to cancel out of that. I've already done it. So let's hear the acoustic guitar that we're going to be using for the demonstration. Okay, that's our acoustic guitar. So we're going to start with frequency modulation. And first of all, I'm going to set my voice count to 4 just as a starting point. I'm going to set my rate here to around 3 Hertz. Just typing it in. And whilst playing back, let's start adding in some depth and start hearing how this sounds with our guitar. Too much. Okay, I like it there. I'm going to play back again, and I'm going to bypass it by using this button, and let's hear the difference that it's making. Bypass. Enable. Okay, so there's my starting point. So next up, I'm going to do some amplitude modulation. I'm going to set a rate of 3.8 Hertz. And let's play back and introduce some of that. Okay. If you find it hard to hear the modulation, go all the way to 100% and really hear what it's doing. Let's go for that. And then pull it back to a sensible amount. Okay, so I'm going to play back with what I've done so far, and I'm going to bypass it and re-engage it and hear the difference we're making so far. Without. Ooh, a bit more of that. Without. Okay, so this way we're customizing our own sound. So let's carry on. We're going to go to stereo spread. And whilst playing back, yet again, I'm going to introduce the stereo spread and hear the difference that it's making. Here we go. Going to bypass. And of course, at this stage, you can, if you want, bring the effect level down a bit if it's getting to be a little bit too much. So we're going to go to the pre-delay next. And let's have a listen to what that does. We're going to start with some low settings and have a listen to what it does. I'm going to play back and adjust. Even at 13 milliseconds, you start to hear what this does. It really gives it quite a diffuse sound. If you like the sound of it, keep it in there. If you don't, take it back out. The pre-delay, I don't use a huge amount on this one. So let's go for higher values. So now at higher values, we're going to start hearing a more obvious delay effect or echo effect. Let's go for that. Play back. I'm going to stop that there. Okay, so I'm going to not put any pre-delay on it at all, but just to give you an idea of what that does. So next up, we're going to go to the EQ. Going to engage the EQ. And let's have a listen to how that affects it. Like I already mentioned, it affects the effect only. It doesn't affect the original dry signal. Let's play back and let's have a listen. Low shelf first. bypass the equalizer. Back in. So as you can hear, that really warms up the effect if that's what you like. Double left click, and let's hear the high shelf in action on it. Bypass. Put it back in. And there you have it. The Acon Digital Multiply. Really, really nice chorus effect. As always, please subscribe and like. Please leave comments and questions in the comments section below as well. I do love the interaction with people. If you're interested, there's a link also in the description to my sound engineering course on Udemy. And of course, there's a link in the description as well for the featured plugin today, which was the Acon Digital Multiply Chorus Effect. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.